Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the V Gaming
remaining.
Tournament. It is the grand finals, a best-of-3 series here between DK and Newbee. Thank you so much for joining us,
Reserve time.
guys. Once again, I'm Maud. With me tonight is Basekip. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well, Maud. How about you?
It's great. It's been a while since we've casted together, all the way back to the qualifiers, and I gotta say, nothing's better than watching these two teams duke it out because, like, they've been playing so much in the past couple of days. I believe the record is like 7-6 in the past 4. Two of the top Chinese teams making it all the way to the grand finals, and I guess we wouldn't have it any other way here as we jump into the game, into the draft.
Yeah, I'm still not getting tired of this DK versus Newbee matchup. The series, all these series continue to be great. The back and forth is fantastic, and it really looks like a coin flip. It's also been super interesting to see two teams playing so many
DK's turn to
relatively
ban.
important matches in such a short period of time, and to see how their drafting and responses to one another have evolved, because they now kind of know one another inside and out. I mean, the Chinese scene before has always been the teams scrim a
10
lot, the top
seconds
teams
remaining.
aren't really afraid of one another, they know one another's styles, but
Yeah.
that's
5
even
seconds remaining.
that's even more the case for this
Radiant
DK versus
team
Newbee
ban.
matchup.
It seems like the picks and bans have evolved a bit. There's like a couple of picks and bans in that you will see very, very often, but all of a sudden things start getting a bit crazy. You'll see like Razor picked up now a lot by Newbee. You'll see DK.
DK's
They pick up
turn
this
to
All-Flame
ban.
Faceless Void a bit as well. MMY practically plays Mirana almost every game from what it seems like. However, it's not going to be available in this matchup as Newbee go ahead and ban it out. There's actually a Death Prophet ban, which DK, I believe, did play once before with Mushi
10
not too long
seconds
ago against
remaining.
Newbee. So, I mean, there are these heroes like you were talking about, and they're kind of just
5
practicing and
seconds
just
remaining.
seeing what works against either squad. Enchantress is banned out. A lot of people think that, well, I guess a
Reserve
lot of the
time.
Chinese teams think that hero is really very solid, almost imbalanced to a certain extent, and you see it picked up or banned almost every game. I'm surprised no Tide ban has come yet, but we may see that, although Doom has been picked up for Newbee, so Zhao 8 might go for that Doom offlane. However, we'll see.
Yeah, so the other hero to mention, of course, is Batrider, who's made it all the way through until this point. DK were leaving it in the pool in the best of 5 against Newbee, which was the last matchup that they played, and I think they actually won 2 out of the 3 games where they left the Batrider through, and Newbee picked it up. So looks like they're feeling confident leaving that through. The other thing that's been pretty hotly banned in the first round between these two teams has been the Nagasard, and that's also made it through because Newbee are adjusting for this
DK's
new
turn
DK
to
draft
pick.
with all the Elder Titan and Rana stuff, as you mentioned. So yeah, it's the teams are this has not become, what are we afraid of playing against, things like that, or you come into a draft blinds. These teams know exactly what one another wants, and there's a lot of mind gaming especially going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so DK, they banned out the Earthshaker, maybe
10
looking for a
seconds
push strat,
remaining.
something like that. They did run them pretty heavily against Speed yesterday, but I don't know how much you can read
5
into that
seconds
matchup,
remaining.
honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to go for that. That doesn't seem to be their typical play style, and I'm not
No.
really sure. I mean,
Reserve
honestly, Mushi doesn't really play that type of hero either. He plays more of that tempo controller in terms of just locking people down, and maybe you can add that to some sort of push as well. And with the Faceless Void and the Shadow Shaman, they do have a Rasta, so I mean, they can maybe pick up a Fury here. Ice, kind of, he can play that hero, and I've seen him play it a bit, but I mean, again, he plays offlaners like a Tide Hunter, like a Clockwork. Team fighters and initiators for the most part. They'll pick up Ancient Apparition as well.
Radiant
Probably
team
going to be
pick.
MMY's hero. So they have a really good dual support. They have the Faceless Void as well. They have some lockdown. They have some team fight. Ice Blast into the Chronosphere is a solid combo. Shadow Shaman outside of a Chronosphere is pretty fantastic as well. I like DK's lineup right now, but then you have to deal with the Doom on top of everything, and Doom just kind of throws a monkey wrench into the plans of what DK are going to do here. So it's going to be interesting to see what they follow up with.
10
Yeah, this is
seconds
actually not too dissimilar to a draft that DK
5
used to
seconds
run
remaining.
a little bit here and there, which was Faceless Void, Ancient Apparition,
Reserve
and then I
time.
believe they also typically had an Invoker, and then some games they ran, I think they've run a Zeus with it, but there's a whole bunch of different variants. But yeah, they do really like the Faceless Void plus Ancient
DK's
Apparition. And
turn
the one
to
thing that I
pick.
will say about DK as a team is one of the things that they are the absolute best at is just finding pickoffs and delaying a game where they feel that they're a little bit behind, or even in a neutral game.
Yeah.
Just finding those pickoffs that I think a lot of other teams necessarily, wouldn't necessarily get, and managing to slowly shift things back in their favor. And that's where things like the Shadow
10
Shaman, Ancient
seconds
Apparition, and
remaining.
Void are fantastic because there's so many opportunities just to find
5
random
seconds
kills here and
remaining.
there if the enemy team makes even the smallest misstep.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And the crazy thing
Reserve
also
time.
is not only do they find those pickoffs, but they allow Burning to farm the entire map while they're doing
Radiant
that.
team
They make
pick.
sure that he's
Yeah.
getting the absolute max CS that he can possibly get. Or if he wants to be team fighting a bit earlier, they'll pick up a hero that's, pretty good early on in the game, and they'll start going to get a bit of aggression and get him some farm as well along the way. So, I mean, getting him that farm is the priority here, although they are going for kind of a mid-game oriented lineup. As soon as you pick up that Viper, that's kind of what you expect to see. And they're going against the Naga Siren right now. There's a Razor and a Doom already. They have room for
10
this, and it can certainly
seconds
work as a core
remaining.
Naga Siren for Newbee here. It's just something that is kind of shocking to
5
me, and
seconds
I would have
remaining.
liked to see something like Moo pick up like a Templar Assassin. I'm not sure if they would have had room for it, but it
Reserve
seems like
time.
at this point it's probably going to be a core Naga, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
I feel like a support Naga could still be pretty good this game, honestly, and I'm almost leaning towards the idea of it being more likely a support. But yeah, like you said, we'll have to see. The support Naga, I mean Naga in general, this game is going to be pretty good. You can always
DK's
song and go in
turn
and
to
clean up
ban.
the Serpent Wards. And not have to deal with them. If the Chronosphere comes out, assuming that the Naga Siren hasn't been caught, she can always song and reset the fight. So I think in that sense, it's a really nice pickup, and they've added an extra dimension, of course, by picking up the Disruptor.
10
So now they have
seconds
something to set up
remaining.
for.
And Ensnare Static Link is
5
actually a pretty strong
seconds
combo as
remaining.
well. Something to lock somebody down while you're just draining all of that damage away, and then you don't have to just rely on a kinetic
Reserve
field or a
time.
glimpse, which is still very strong, but there is the possibility there. And just in general, it kind of combos up as well, and gives Doom kind of just a little bit more lockdown to work with, just a right click. They will ban out the Bat Rider finally, so they
Radiant
did get all the
team
way through,
banned.
but teams seem to be, at least some of the Chinese teams seem to be a bit more comfortable playing up against this hero, as you mentioned earlier, but for DK, they have the Viper, they have the AA, Shadow Shaman, and Faceless Void. Viper more likely than not going to be maybe the mid hero here. Burning can play it as well, I'm sure, but I'm not sure if
10
Mushi plays this
seconds
too often.
remaining.
Faceless Void probably going to be going the off lane for Ice Ice Ice. They can pick up a safe
DK's
laner here
turn
or
to
a mid
pick.
hero here. There's a couple of options, and maybe get that early mech for Viper as well.
Yeah, the one thing that DK could... they probably won't end up doing it here, just because I don't think the tri-lane versus tri-lane matches up particularly well, but they maybe could have gone aggressive, just pick up something else that's going to be really good to maybe lane against the Doom, so they can throw the Viper towards mid, have a good 1v1 matchup against the Doom, and
10
then
seconds
run
remaining.
aggressive, but they're on the dire side. The Razor
5 seconds
might be
remaining.
in the defensive tri-lane, and Naga Siren as a support is actually still very, very good
Reserve time.
in Tri v Tri, though it does remain to be seen if she's going to be played as a support or not. So DK they've only got the information that they have right now, and they have to decide, okay, do we think it's going to be core Naga? Do we need to be speeding things up a little bit here and try and punish that element of greed from Newbee, or do we think it's
10
going to be a support and we need to be
seconds
more
remaining.
careful about Newbee coming at us in the mid game? So this is a pretty tough call, and well, there you
Radiant
go.
team
That kind of just throws everything to the side here, and we're just like, well, it's a sniper pickup, so certainly a strong pup hero, not one we see too often. He's picked time and time again, or from time to time, I should say, rather, in the pro scene, but somebody I'm not too familiar with. I think, honestly, this actually is really cool. I like this because with the Faceless Void, you're trying to get damage from outside sources. And we talked
10
about the
seconds
Invoker. We
remaining.
talked a little bit about the Ancient Apparition. You have that kind of global strategy.
5
Sniper has such a
seconds
long
remaining.
range that he'll just sit outside of this Chronosphere and pelt you down. He'll use his shrapnel. He'll assassinate you as well.
Reserve
I kind of
time.
like this little interaction that DK have with their heroes, and even Viper to a certain extent. But Newbee, they just go for the Brewmaster, which is just a solid hero. Doesn't necessarily care about the right clicks, with his Brewmaster ultimate coming out as well. And now it's almost certainly, I think, a Naga Siren as a support, which is a bit interesting. It's not something we see too often, but should be fine. And the names are actually screwed up for me for Newbee. I'm not sure if they're screwed up for you as well. I hope gets fixed, but it might be a bit unfortunate here.
We can work it out.
Yeah, I'm
Be
sure we
fine.
can figure it out, but still. Well,
Yeah. So the Brewmaster, nice pickup. He's going to be able to just jump at the Sniper all game. Sniper, I think, is a reasonably good hero. He's been tweaked here and there. But of course, the biggest problem in a coordinated setting is that people are not gonna give him the opportunity to just sit
10
back and
seconds
do his
remaining.
thing. And as much as the Viper and the Faceless Void are gonna be really nice
5
to sit up at the
seconds
front and try and
remaining.
make space for him, I feel like he's just gonna have Dooms and Brewmaster, Doom and Brewmaster just jumping at him the whole game long, because he is the primary damage source for DK. They do. Well, it's not normally
Prepare
burning
for
on the
battle.
Viper, but typically when DK run this Viper, they just build him up as a big frontline hero. I mean, when we saw Mushi running it the other day, he built a Vanguard and a Heart just so he could sit right at the front and soak everything up. And I think that's probably similar to what we're going to be seeing this game out of Burning. Probably expecting to see Mushi just go a pretty damage heavy build. I feel once you start buying survivability items on Sniper, then the hero isn't. But then you could have picked something else,
It loses
right?
its
Something that
effectiveness.
stands up better. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I agree with you on the fact as well as the way they play the Viper. It's almost like they play it to a certain extent like a bristleback, although you don't have those close sprays. You're not maybe as upfront, but you still run at people, essentially. And
30 seconds
I like the fact that
to
they're throwing it in this tri lane here, although they're going up against a Doom. I mean, he will have Scorched Earth. He actually goes for Boots first as well. They will be able to lock him down with Shackles or, with Hex, whichever they get, on him as well with Cold Feet eventually. They actually have a Smoking to see it as well early on here. So DK are going to look to make some early roams happen on this mid lane specifically, and it's going to be that mid Brewmaster up against the mid Sniper for Mushi, which is very interesting. Like you mentioned, he goes for the Wraith Band first, 2 Tangos as well, so no early battle
The
here, but he's going to have a
battle
lot of damage.
begins.
He might not even go for battle altogether. He might just sit in lane, get experience, right-click, get some CS, and go from there. So off-lane Faceless Void, no surprise there. Support Naga, I feel like Ice might be in a bit of trouble here. He does go for the stout. He's got 1 point in time walk, no boots. CSing-wise, he might have a bit of trouble, especially if he gets static linked. I'm not really sure, though. I don't know if I give really First Blood to... I don't know if I give the edge to either team, because you have escape mechanisms for both sides. So it's going to be interesting the way the game shapes up.
Yeah, I think the X factor, if you want to call it that, is always going to be the glimpse potentially on the Disruptor. It just means that Ice has to play so defensively because the Time Walk isn't necessarily going to be a reliable means of escape for him from this tri lane. So it's probably that to mention. I guess we should also very quickly introduce the teams, right? So on Newbee, it's going to be Xiao8 on the off-lane Doom. You've got Roly Poly, which should be Moo heading towards mid on the Brewmaster. And then we've got Mandy Baby, just How on the Razor. And then what is... I'm supposed to know this. I think Bew is Banana, and then I think that leaves the Disruptor is Sanshang.
Yes, that's what I would say. I'd agree with that. Honestly, it's very difficult to tell. I'm not sure why
I'll
it's
check.
working, but yeah, we've got a second to pause here, but I'm glad you took that over, man. I was gonna do it for a second. I was just like, well, let's see if Baseskip wants to go over the
We
lineup,
got
so.
this. I know my DK versus Newbee. Yeah. So the Disruptor is Sanshang, and the Naga Siren is Banana.
All right,
So there
excellent. Well, so that takes care of the lineup for Newbee. For DK, on the top lane, we'll have Burning. He'll be playing the Viper. Alana will be on the Ancient Apparition. We'll have MMY on the Shadow Shaman. In the mid lane, it's going to be Mushi on the Sniper, and Dorado Ice will be on the Faceless Void down to the bottom lane. So 1 minute in, we have a bit of a pause here. Burning has disconnected, so hopefully we would get that issue resolved. Already, though, 5 CS going out for the Sniper in this mid lane. Actually, not all that surprising. Goes for the early headshot, which can be extra damage, obviously, and the True Strike, which is nice. 373 gold in the bank. We'll see if he goes for that bottle. He's already wasted 1 regen, but he's doing a lot of harass right now to Moo in this mid lane. And Moo, I feel like, even with the stout shield, still might have a tough time, especially if Mushi keeps putting this pressure on and even gets a quick level 6 and assassinate before Brewmaster and stays in lane. I feel like this could be a tough lane for Moo, potentially, considering how low he already is.
Yeah, I think there are 2 ways to approach this lane for the Brewmaster. Either he can go for Haze, and I was thinking that he was going to go for Haze pretty early on, just to try and make life difficult for the Sniper, but he has gone for a point in Thunderclap and a point in Drunken Brawler. So the one methodology to take care of it is to just get 1 or 2 points in Drunken Haze and just spam it nonstop. The other option, of course, is to just go for more points in Thunderclap and Bottle Crow and just spam out the wave and try and secure some more runes and just deal with the lane in that way. Very similar to how a DK would play against against a lot of mid heroes. So we'll see what the choice is going to be here for move. But in general, melee heroes suffer quite a bit at the hands of Sniper.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly feel like I would have picked up a point in haste. He still can. He's probably going to get a second point into Thunderclap, although he has no mana to use right now. He's going to get his bottle rather soon, so not a big deal. It looks like Xiaowei has rotated over to the jungle. He'll Devour, and he'll get some levels just by jungling alone. And he does have Scorched Earth 3-gen. MMY is also just making his way to the river, looking for that 2-minute rune potentially. So, down bottom, Ice is having kind of a rough time. He's sitting at level 2, so he has leached enough of experience here. It looks like he's going to eat a tree, try to leech more experience from this camp. However, the Disruptor's going to come through. No glimpse just yet. The Disruptor's still level 1. Ice is going to try to right-click him down, but the Thunder Strike gets used, and Ice has to back off. Too many right-clicks going his way, which means that this is just a free farm lane for Razor, and the same could be said for the Viper up top. So both heroes just farming, and again, both of these heroes get very early mechs, so we'll see if they want to fight early with those mechs and who gets one done first, essentially.
Yeah, the one problem for Ice is that he doesn't quite yet have his Poor Man Shield, which he would normally go for on this basis. He might even just go and grab Boots here. I don't know what the plan's going to be, but he has already chewed through all of his regen. That new level 1 Thunder Strike is actually ridiculously good, and Ice didn't come that prepared. He had one set of tangos and a single shared tango to start out the lane. So nicely played by Sanshang, just to keep the focus on him and force him all the way back to the fountain at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Ice is having a rough time. That's exactly what they need. Meanwhile, mid lane, there's going to be rotation. Xiaowei just coming through to right click down Mushi.
Trade.
That was he just came in to harass, but Mushi's going in with the shrapnel right now. Not enough damage to get the kill, obviously. He's only level 4. He does have his Ring of Aquila done, but that's not going to be enough for the kill. However, just harassing Xiaowei back. Both of the offlaners off to a bit of a rough start. However, the Tranquils are done for the Doom now, so not a huge deal. He'll be able to kind of just sit back up at that top lane potentially, or even just back in the jungle and go from there. And Ice will make his way back down bottom. You did mention that he did not have that Poor Man Shield. In fact, he did go for the Boots of Speed, so he's just trying to survive essentially in this lane. But there's going to be level 2 now for the Disruptor. No Glimpse. He actually skilled up the Kinetic Field instead, interestingly enough. But they are securing a lot of farm for this Razor down bottom at the very least.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to that point about Doom, that's just the nature of the hero. He's so difficult to keep down. Even if he has a really difficult offlane, just goes and devours some creeps, hangs around on the map, gets some levels, and he's got that built-in recovery mechanism and some obviously fantastic mid to late game. So
Ice coming with the haste rune right now. He's got a time walk. They're looking for this kill. There's the Thunderclap coming out right now. The ensnare as well. Right click will be enough. Ice might fall, but Mushi takes the tower aggro, backs off, and with that haste rune, Ice surviving. Meanwhile, top lane, the right clicks the Aether Shock. They'll grab the kill. 2 dead immediately. They do end up getting the kill in the Faceless Void somehow. TP rotations coming in. The Razor, there's the Plasma Field to get one. Thunder Strike coming out as well as the damage link as MMY getting right click down, but the Viper going to town, burning with the poison attacks, getting yet another kill. 3-3, rotating around though. Banana looking for potential ensnare. He has enough mana for it. No Riptide mana, however. He's about 15 away. Kinetic Field coming out, just barely connecting onto burning. This should be enough for the kill. Banana getting awfully low, but not low enough to die. Viper will go down as well. A bloodthirsty exchange when it's all said and done. 4-3. The first blood did go to DK, but Newbee come out ahead on the kills.
Well, worth mentioning that it's pretty much only a 3-for-3. Ice actually just took the tail end of his haste rune, ran up towards the Ancients, bought a couple of items, and then just died to neutrals. Okay. So overall, actually a 3-3. So yeah, a very energetic start to this game.
And that was actually exactly what Ice needed. He gets the haste rune, he gets a quick kill on Brewmaster, which gives Mushi up to almost level 7, and Brew's not even level 6 yet, so his Blink Dagger is being put off just a little bit here. It shouldn't be too far away still. He's farming pretty effectively despite going up against the Sniper, and Mushi being pretty good about his own farm and harassment, so Ice gets to about level 4 with this, which is really great. Burning gets a couple of kills, but gets brought down with some nice rotations. However, he does get the kill on the Razor in the end, who has only right now his Chainmail, whereas the Buckler is now completed for the Viper. So Burning feeling a bit better. Lana might get caught right out of position. The Ensnare's going to go to the Thunder Strike, and he's going to go down. The right click, the Pack Ludozora, definitely enough to get this kill. Disruptor will pick up Ancient Apparition, and now they're going to rotate around and start to be a bit aggressive here for Team Newbee. In fact, they're looking for Mushi, but the Thunderclap is missed. Mushi will back away. He actually has Phase Boots, so he pops those, and Gloom's potentially available here for Disruptor if he wants to. It looks like they're not going to go for it just yet, though.
Yeah, Mushi knows that they're there. He's just playing a tiny bit dumb, just to try and get them to hang around a little bit longer. But he's gonna be fine. Well, he should be fine.
Yeah, he's got that Observer Ward. I'd be very surprised if he died here, but it looks like he's okay. He's just gonna keep sitting. He knows that they're leaving now. Heading up to the top lane, so burning. Well, there's actually going to be a TP rotation. MMY is going to go ahead and hex up Doom right now, who is level 5, doesn't have the Doom yet, but now the wraparound Banana looking for it. Instead, they're going to find it on MMY, getting caught out the plasma field, the right click. That should be enough. The static link coming out as well. The Gloom's back, burning in some trouble here. He's going to use the Viper Strike right on top of this Disruptor. Can he get this kill? Too much damage. He's going to fall. 4-man rotation, but they pick off 2. And Newbee, well, they do lose the tower, but not that big of a deal when you get 2 kills out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, and I really like the way that Newbee are playing this. Of course, the counter argument is that, oh, Ice is getting some farm, but I feel like, honestly, the little bit of additional farm that he's gotten is marginal for his impact in this game. So the fact that they've been moving the Razor and whatnot around so aggressively and the support's just completely abandoning bottom lane is definitely paying off. And the other thing is that it's not really what DK are expecting. They're expecting Newbee to give away that tier 1 tower top without too much fuss, because that's your normal argument, right? Look, the tier 1 tower for us isn't that valuable. We're just going to keep getting some farm, but Newbee taking advantage of that and picking up some kills as a result.
Yeah, and they get some experience out of it as well, which is really important for them, especially for their supports. Getting up to the level 6 of that Disruptor is probably their most important. Even the Song of the Siren as well is really important for Banana, but they're not quite there yet. Yeah, they're going to find a kill. Chrono. Yeah, and they will grab the kill potentially here. The right click should be enough. TP rotation. I don't think it'll be in time. The Shackle's going to come through. Yeah, long TP. The Hex up as well. He does have his ultimate. Will he pop it? Ice in trouble. No time walk for 3 seconds now. Well, it looks like Moo will back off and say that's enough, but the wraparound gank mid, the Smoke of Deceit gank, looking for Mushi. He's been farming so well with 40 CS right now. He's going to get ensnared, in some trouble, the Thunderstrike as well. He will throw down the Shrapnel, he's going to try to phase through, but the Kinetic Field will head up, and the right click from the Pack through Zora, and the Disruptor Thunderstrike will grab the kill. So another great rotation coming out from Disruptor and the rest of the Newbee support squad.
Yeah, both teams are just being so impactful with their rotations so far, and everybody's being kept on their toes at all times. The one thing that we didn't really talk about too much is Mushi's skill build. He did end up going for max shrapnel and just choosing to chew away at the tier 1 tower mid lane, which he has almost managed to bring down, just leaving it out of deny range at the moment. So that's a tier 1 that's probably going to go the way of DK before too long, and as I say that, my ladder.
Bottom just got blown up. Looks like Disruptor was forced to pop that ultimate. He was getting very low, so they save his life there. They grab the kill. Ancient Apparition getting very close to a return kill, but no such luck. And yeah, Mushi going for Shrapnel. You actually talked about DK going for a more push-oriented lineup, and they do have the Serpent Wards coming up soon. With Shrapnel, that is at least a little bit of push coming their way, but they seem like they are waiting either on Mushi's next item or maybe more farm for Burning to finish up his mech, which he's very close to, or Ice getting another big item. And Newbee are just being very aggressive around the map with these rotations. Now they're kind of backing off. They're allowing Doom to get farm. However, Showhead has picked up a very early Blink Dagger here, which is really nice to have. And that Static Storm you saw it come out, the Song of the Siren, is now available for Newbee as well. So their ultimates are online. They're ready to go. They just need to kind of put it all together and go for another fight here.
Showhead is having the game of his life. He's actually the most farmed hero on his team, and he's 1, 1, and 6 in overall stats. So he's been everywhere. He's set everything up, and he's got the farm to show for it. So, you know, props to him. It was looking like it was going to be a difficult offlane. Well, he said, "Screw the offlane. I'm just going to wander the map, and with my team, I'll get a whole bunch of kills."
It was actually impressive that they were able to get him involved in so many fights, but a lot of that came due to DK diving or being out of position, essentially. So he did a great job being there when they needed him to be in. He picks up a Blink Dagger because of it, and with the Devourer as well. He has his Doom now. He actually almost got baited into a death. However, he did not walk back into the Sentry Ward here, and they would have locked him down with a Hex into a Shackle, and that would have been the end of him. No such luck. He'll survive. He'll head back up to the top lane or into the jungle for the time being. Lanham getting some farm. He's up to level 6, so he has Ice Blast, and well, there's going to be the Doom on Lanham. This poor Ancient Apparition just gets caught out of position. The right click And that'll be enough to get the kill with Scorched Earth. Yeah, he'll just fall. He's very squishy. That Iceman just burns, melts away, essentially.
The seven hells.
Yeah, and it is worth mentioning that the one thing that Newbee don't quite have going for them just yet is that Moo was falling a little bit behind in terms of picking up his Blink Dagger, but they gave him the safe lane. They said, look, Moo, you just sit back, you farm up, you get that Blink, we want you to have it, we want to hit this mid-game timing, and he's almost got it complete at this point. Yeah. So Newbee really honing in on that double Blink Dagger plus mech, which is going to be coming pretty soon, and that's going to be tough for DK to defend. This Chronosphere is going to be a huge resource, especially because it has such a long cooldown at level 1. They're going to have to, when they expend that Chronosphere, DK pretty much have to win that fight, otherwise Newbee are just going to immediately get up in their face and probably take 1 or 2 tier 1s. So a lot of pressure on Ice here.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. The Chronospheres are essential early on in the game right now, and with the Blink Dagger coming up soon for Brewmaster, they are going to go for that mid-game timing like you were talking about. And in fact, the Razor just finished up his mech as well, so the mech coming out, which means that essentially they've got all of the items they need. However, DK, they want to put the pressure on first. They're going to smoke up right now, and they're going to look for something here. They might find it in the jungle. There is still this tier 1 tower down bottom if they want to go for it, but they're going to rotate mid instead. They have a clear path towards how on this Razor. Will they jump on him? Looks like they know something's up. They're going to back off. Everyone's off the map right now for the most part for DK, rather, except for Ice, who's just sitting in the mid lane and being very aggressive with his positioning. He's way across the river, and even with Time Walk, they understand that there's probably some aggression coming. How will go forward a bit, but Time Walk into a Chronosphere is ready. It's max Time Walk as well, so that range for Ice is there if they want to go for it, but it looks like they're just going to play this patiently. They'll back off now, and they'll look to continue to farm. They don't want to do anything too crazy. This gives more room for Doom in the top lane to get some more farm. He'll pick up a Bracer. He can even start pressuring this tower. Ice still aggressive, though.
Yeah, smart from Joey to poke his head out there. He knows that nobody on his team has actually been seen top for almost a minute, so that there was a very low chance that if DK were smoke ganking, which Newbee had a good idea that they were, since there were 4 heroes off the map, there's a very low chance that that smoke gank was going to be heading top lane. So he knows that he knew even before DK revealed themselves that he was pretty safe. He was playing the safe odds by just applying a pressure to the tower. And he even just goes around and steals the creep wave away. So he's going to reset the position on the lane and get some good damage down on the tier 1. So just really heads up play from Zhao this whole game.
Yeah, and it honestly feels like he's kind of controlling the pace of the game here. I mean,
the director. Yeah,
exactly. That's it. The director doing his job, essentially, making sure that his team, they know what they're doing here. There are a lot of aggressive wards coming out from DK. Some sentry wards are barely missing. The sentry here in mid, so close
Look
to
at all of
ward.
these sentries.
Down bottom though, Ice, Static Storm. This will be a kill coming out. Doom gets down there as well. He wants to be involved. They will pick it up. Ice goes down to this Disruptor even. And 14 minutes into the game, that's another death for DK. And he's down for 20 seconds. Now they're going to make their way towards this tier 1 tower. This should fall for free. With no Chronosphere to defend, there's no way to defend this off-lane tower, essentially.
Yeah, Lenham's going to hang around and I think secure the little bit of experience that trickles in, but yeah, that is going to be the end of that tier 1. So it is the first tier 1 tower of the game for Newbee, which is going to start swinging the gold actually over into their favor. They're sitting on a pretty comfortable 3k experience lead right now, and that's just how much more they found out of all of these ganks up until this point. I don't expect things to change too much. I mean, we haven't even seen the power of the double Blink Dagger just yet. We haven't even seen a Brewmaster ultimate, and I think it would be a mistake not to use it. Though they are just about to reach level 11 on the Brew, so makes sense to just wait around for that.
I'm surprised they just pick up their smoke now. The Disruptor picks it up at about 15 minutes in, and that's a couple minutes after he picked up the Blink Dagger, like you talked about. He is level 11 now, and that's important. I feel like they're really fearing this Chronosphere coming up from Ice. They don't want to have a bad engagement into that. They don't want to lose a fight because of it, especially with all of their ultimates. If they use the ultimates and they still lose the team fight because of a Chronosphere. Well, that might happen anyways. Ice is ready to go again. Burning will take another tier 1 tower. They're going to TP mid right now, and they're going to defend and maybe even fight here potentially. The first big engagement of the game may come in this mid lane. 16 minutes in. Banana's going to throw up some illusions. There still is that Primal Split ready to go, but the Time Walk about to fly in. Ice, Chronosphere, Brewmaster Ultimate, it's going to get off. There's the Song of the Siren as well. They can't get a good Chrono. Ice, Static Storm. They're going to leave him out to dry here, taking a lot of damage. He's going to buy out before he dies, and now it's a disaster. DK have to back away. They do not want to fight out with that Chronosphere, but the Glimpse back on him. They're going to have 2 casualties potentially, and they can't actually find him. Meanwhile, they do have the Cyclone up on MMY. Kinetic Field going through, Hex is up as well. Ice still down. The Ward Trap on Xiaowei, caught out, taking a lot of damage. The mech as well, Burning, gets doomed up, but it doesn't matter. Pause coming out from Burning. MMY disconnects at a rough time in the middle of a team fight, right in the thick of it. But that was a fantastic Ward Trap coming out from MMY. Xiaowei could do nothing there. It gets blown up by the Serpent Wards, has to doom Burning. But he didn't get the mech off, luckily, but still.
Yeah, and that was actually surprisingly aggressive for Newbee to keep on chasing. I mean, yes, you got the Void, but you used Song, Static Storm, and the Panda Split for it. And DK still had everything. DK still had everything available. So, yes, they had the Doom, but I think it might have been a little bit of a misstep to continue chasing and looking for those kills. It looks like they are gonna maybe be punished for it. I don't know who's gonna. I think the Brewmaster and the Razor are fine.
Yeah.
Naga Siren might die. Do we have another Vortex? No, there's no mana on Lanham. So
I don't know.
actually, I think Banana's dead for sure. He's got an Urn Charge and he's Frostbit.
Yeah. So I think he will fall. Disruptor is probably okay. MMY has enough mana to shackle, but he's not in range and he can't really get there in time. Mushi can maybe get some headshot procs. He's already used his phase boots, so he can't move any real quicker. So, and he's got no mana to assassinate either if he's trying to get a potential pick off. He's got no stick either, interestingly enough. So,
and his shrapnel is near the Serpent Wards at the moment, right? So
I believe so.
I think it's about. You can't see pings while it's paused.
It's right in the middle of this river here. I think. I mean, I can see it falling right now. So
yeah, there's like the little black cloud effect.
Yeah. It's not the Eye of the Storm. That's also quite confusing too. I mean, that's maybe one of the reasons Newbee thinks, okay, we could fight this. We have Eye of the Storm up, but that's not enough. G is called after an interesting pause. MMY's computer, maybe something happening, but the Urn doing work. The Frostbite, yeah, it'll grab the kill, and they won't be able to get anything further there. So, good assessment. They'll transition that into a Roshan essentially, and with no ultimates left up for Newbee, they have to actually back off and kind of just let this go. They should have enough damage here between just Mushi, Ice, and Burning. Plus they have the mech. This should be a rather easy Roshan for DK to take, and something that help them get them back in this game, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about how important the Chronosphere is for DK, but the ultimates on Newbee are equally important. If they expend everything and don't win a team fight convincingly, then this is exactly what happens. It gives DK an opportunity to get something done. So, bit of a catch-up Rosh going their way, and does go a long way to bringing this game back to even. Though it's very, very even without that said.
Yeah.
500 gold, 2.5k experience, and we're heading in towards a very interesting mid-game.
Yeah, and I gotta say, this is where it kind of picks up, and something that's even more interesting. Well, hold that thought. Razor getting caught out. No, we'll just TP away. Ice Blast is not on time. Mushi actually picked up a Blink Dagger, which is really interesting. Something you expect to see more damage from a sniper, but positioning I think is also key for this hero. You don't want to get caught out. I think that's number one, is if you're getting focused down, you're going to die very quickly. You're a squishy hero to begin with, but at the same time, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. You want to build it to more damage, but at this point, he already does enough. Still with no headshot, though. Maybe it's not enough. He does have the most net worth in the game. He's level 11, almost level 12, so I think he's either tied for the highest or, yeah, he is tied for the highest in terms of experience right now. But still, it's rather interesting to see him go for Blink Dagger.
And Doom gets expended on the bottom lane, but nobody in the neighborhood to do anything about it. So Ice. No, there's a glimpse.
That was long range. That was, wow. That was just at the edge of that range, I feel like, for Disruptor. He picks it up. Sansheng will help get the kill. Doom picks it up as Xiaowei's kill. So Ogre Club coming out for the Doom right now, and no surprise there. He's going to TP, he's going to try to get from top, which is where Burning is pushing. Who's going for the Aghanim Scepter? No surprise there for Viper. But Ice is getting picked off yet again. That's his 4th death, and just really unfortunate timing. They're really punishing this Faceless Void pickup. I feel like he hasn't brought anything to the table. He hasn't hit a single Chronosphere yet. Well, he's gotten one, but it's been a gank on one hero specifically. and not like a huge Chronosphere, which has kind of won them a team fight. So they have all the tools, but they really need to put them into play here for Ice 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 to get something going.
In fairness, he's been on the receiving end of all of the hate that Newbee can muster. I think he's been doomed a couple of times. He's been the recipient of 2 static storms, and they popped they popped everything that they can just to take him out of these fights. I guess the other thing to point out about that kill that they managed to pick up on Ice Ice Ice, I think he was just on the edge of this observer ward vision that Newbee have down. He threw out a couple of pings. After he died, he was like, "Look, there's some vision down there because that glimpse should not have gone off, even with it being daytime." So a little bit of frustration for him. Going back to the blink dagger on Mushi, I like the item quite a bit. It's a pseudo farming item on a hero like Drow or Sniper. You move around the jungle a little bit quicker, move around the map a little bit quicker. Obviously not as good as say a Maelstrom, but still, it lets him choose when he joins the fights. He can sit 2,000 range away, not auto-attacking, and as soon as he sees commitment from Newbee, that's when he can swoop in and start dealing damage. And like you said, it's just positioning is so pivotal. So I think it's pretty good. It just if he does get jumped, then the blink dagger is 2,000 gold worth of not a whole lot in his inventory is the one problem.
Well, we just saw it there. He actually got glimpsed back, but he was able to blink away right after the glimpse and be just fine. So, I mean, it really comes down to how he uses it. Meanwhile, Banana...
Be careful about this song.
Yeah, this is really precarious for DK. They're throwing up the Serpent Wars right now, but the song is going to go. It's going to catch on 4. Not Mushi. Yes, now it will. On to 5. Static Storm about to come out. They will throw it up on Ice 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 yet again. Brewmaster Ultimate not coming out. BKB Doom on MMY burning, getting caught out of position. A lot of heroes falling very low. They will pick up the kill. Ice 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 gets the chrono off. Banana getting low. Mushi assassinates one. They're turning this fight around somehow, but Burning will fall in the end. A 2-for-2 trade. Now the Assassinate flying through potentially. That's the Aegis on Burning. He's still alive now, taking a little bit of damage, but he's got the Corrosive Skin, dishing it out as well. The Doom getting right click. The Ice Vortex. Look how slow he's moving. He's about to fall and will. Eye of the Storm doing some work. There's the Mask of Madness for Ice Ice Ice. He wants some revenge on all of the hate that was dished out onto him. They're going to go ahead, just try to dive this tier 3 tower. They really want this kill, but here comes the Brew. Ice Ice Ice. This is too far, my friend, and they can't even get the kill. Mushi blinks forward. He will pick it up, but now he's in too deep. He's got to get out of here. He's going to buy a TP scroll, but he's already so low. The right click at the Thunderclap will be enough for a double kill coming out for the Brewmaster. That was a hasty dive if I've ever seen one from DK, and probably not worth it. But still.
Yeah, that was. I don't think that was worth it, but very nice for them to turn around the team fight like they did, and that's something that we didn't even talk about. Shrapnel plus Ice Vortex. That was disgusting. Nobody was going anywhere, and the shrapnel was actually chewing them to pieces. And there's also some really nice synergy between just throwing out an Ice Vortex right as somebody is about to get assassinated.
Yes.
So something that we didn't really touch on, but something that's very, very strong for the DK lineup, especially for blowing up heroes like the Disruptor and the Nog Siren, who are just gonna completely fall down to that.
Yeah, they just die, like, instantaneously. You add that up with perhaps Viper and the slows that he can pump out, and the damage that he can dish, and Corrosive Skin. It's just disturbing the amount of damage and kind of crippling they can do for DK. So Newbee maybe sense a bit of urgency here. They're going to Smoke of Deceit and look for a potential pickoff. Ice Ice Ice. Chronosphere is up in 7 seconds, so they can get a nice counter engage here. They have all of their ultimates up once that is ready to go. So do Newbee, though. They have everything except for the song, and MMY Burning. They're looking for the Disruptor, but there they go. The clap. The split is going to go out as well. BKB Burning. He can't back up. The Static Storm going out as well. He will get it off in the end, but now getting right-clicked out. MMY's already been blown up. The Viper Strike slowing down Xiaowei, but only for a bit here. Not doing that much damage. BKB finally done. The level death Lanham is going to fall here to the Brewlings to the right-click. Mushi, he's in trouble. Ice 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 comes in, but now there's the Chronosphere. They actually glimpse him into the Chrono. He can't dish out the damage he wants, and he'll fall. It's a 5-man wipe, and the double kill goes out. Getting it done is Newbee. They'll take this tower as well, more likely than not. DK getting caught out of position with a really great Smoke of Deceit gank for Newbee, and they'll just get paid dividends here with this tier 1 tower.
And that was so nice from Sansheng as well, just to hold on to the glimpse and get it right on Mushi. There was maybe an opportunity for DK to turn things around had Mushi not been glimpsed like that, but that was absolutely the nail in the coffin. So, and the other big thing for Newbee is that you don't want to let you don't want to let DK ever get into position where they can just go for non-committal pushes. They can walk up to a tower,
Dire's middle
drop down the
tower
serpent
is under
wards, drop
attack.
down the shrapnel, and everybody just stands back. And so continuing to force things and just taking fights whenever DK turn up at your towers is going to be really important. And that's exactly what they're doing. And we're still looking so even, but that is obviously a huge boon for Newbee winning that fight. 5 for whatever it was. I think it was 5 for 1 overall.
Yeah, I think that was it at the end of the day. And actually, that gives the Aghanim Scepter over to the Razor now, too, which is a huge item. And he'll pick up the BKB afterwards, realizing what we've already realized, which is there's a bit of magical damage and some synergy here as well. And I mean, I imagine it's going to be a BKB. There's always the chance it's an SMY, maybe even a Halberd. But Ice is going to look for this Chrono, and he's probably going to find it. There's this static link going through. He decides
Wish he
to
messed
against
up.
it. I guess
Wish he messed up.
He
He blinked into
blink.
trees.
Oh, that's not good. Wow. Well,
And they needed him. I mean, the idea was to Chrono, Vortex, Ice Blast, right-click and assassinate. But as soon as Mushi stuffed his blink, then
that was
that
it. And he
gank
just
fell
got
out the
out of
window.
there.
And that should have been a freebie.
Yeah.
I mean, Ice was right on top of him. The only reason that they couldn't get it was because Mushi was trapped. So
Hal gets away with one, essentially.
yeah.
So, a bit lucky, but he'll take it, I'm sure. And that'll give them more room across the map. Down bottom, MMY is farming aggressively. He does have his Blink Dagger now, which is great. He's got Super Wards as well. TP's got to come through. He'll drop the wards, and he'll just blink away.
Is under attack.
No mana for TP for, but I guess that's fine. I don't think
They think he's already gone.
yeah, they're not
so-
going to look for him here. He's just going to TP away now. So, he'll get out. He'll regen up, and he feeds up his Serpent Wards, but he gets the tower kind of low. And he also makes a lot of space for DK. I'm not sure if any TPs were used there. I think a bit were used for Newbee. So they have to walk to the top lane now and just try to push this back just through kind of foot pursuit. So, all right.
Radiant's top tower.
This is
under
exactly what
attack.
DK do. When they're behind, they look for pickoffs, they pressure towers, and they will incrementally, ever so incrementally, try and get that advantage back. And this is a style that they are very, very deft at. But at the same time, Newbee know that that's what they like to do. They've picked up a gem on the Naga Siren. They're going to make it very difficult for DK to try and pull off these shenanigans safely. And without vision, something's going to go wrong, and Burning gets glimpsed back in.
Yeah, that's not what you want if you're burning right now. He's going to use his mech real quick. God, that's a lot node. Ice Vortex comes as well. Mega kill streak coming out for the Brewmaster. Yeah, you talk about the gem up on the Naga Siren as well. There was so much vision early on in the game for DK. That's not there anymore. Even with the aggressiveness that DK's had in the past couple of minutes and just where they've been on the map, they can't really ward without it just getting countered immediately. Not in the spots that they were anyway. So,
Dire's middle
but they
tower
are
is
still
under
doing a
attack.
fairly good job of, like you said, split pushing and kind of
Radiant's
just getting
top
advantages
tower is under
elsewhere.
attack.
The shrapnel on this tier
Radiant
2 tower on the
structures
top
are
lane,
fortified.
but Chronosphere,
Dire's
Brewmaster getting
middle
caught out,
tower is
Mushi
under
right-clicking from afar, easily getting the kill. That's a huge pickup as well, and the ward helps them with that,
Dire's
getting the
middle
vision
tower
of
has
Brewmaster
fallen.
walking up that cliff or the hill there.
Yeah, nice big streak to end as well. I'm kind of hoping that Mushi goes in towards a Mjolnir now, honestly. Just because it'll be really nice to throw on either Ice, and he's going in? Oh,
He thought,
Never mind.
He thought about it. He's like, nah, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
yeah. But I think the static charge would just be so nice to throw on either the Faceless Void or the Viper, and it's obviously fantastic for damage output as well. The one thing that you might say against it is that there are going to be 2 BKBs up on Newbee fairly soon. So you're not getting a lot of the benefit out of the magical damage, and yeah, he's just gonna go for a Manta style instead. So again, contributing to that idea of just going for non-committal pushes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Sending Manta Illusion, sending Serpent Wards, and throwing down Shrapnel.
I think I like that a bit better. You can always backtrack for something like Mushroom Gilmer a bit later if you want to, especially when you have that Midas, you have ways to get that
Roshan
going.
has
They'll take another
fallen
Aegis,
to
and
die.
yet again the dire advantage going the way of DK, giving them another Aegis. So that's pretty nice. There's actually a double damage rune in that top rune spot. If anyone could grab it, it would be nice for anybody here. But I'm interested to see if they use the Smoke of Deceit that the Disruptor has on him. Sanshang's ready to go, and they're actually getting everyone kind of grouped up here. And they want to make something happen regardless of an Aegis or not. They want to try to find a fight. And if they can pick off Ice before it gets to that Chronosphere, we've seen what can happen, although we've also seen what can happen if they overextend a little too far with their ultimates on cooldown. So I think this is a big fight coming out for Newbee right now. This could swing things in either way, I suppose.
Yeah, this is a massively valuable smoke as well. Both teams chewed through all of their smokes very quickly. That fight mid where Ice 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 got static stormed was actually the last smoke for each team. So this is the next one that's restocked, and if this doesn't connect, the Newbee won't have one for 6 minutes. Meanwhile, DK do
Dire's
have
bottom
one
tower is
available,
under attack.
and that's over on MMY, and their next smoke is also about 5 minutes away. So it's become a really precious resource at this point, these smoke ganks, and Newbee aren't going to find anything out of
Dire's
theirs.
structures are
They're just gonna go straight for a tower. They really want this tier 2. They say, listen, if you're gonna try to push our tower, we're gonna at least take your tier 2 tower down bottom. With the Aghanim Scepter, that's not too hard for Razor. The top tier 2 tower getting shrapnel right now. Again, Mushi, he's got a Manta style. He actually sends an illusion away, maybe to scout. It looks like now he's just gonna send it and attack the tower. He's actually
He wants that illusion to get doomed.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, he
yep,
did it!
Wow. Oh my God. What a player. He blinks out and TP's away. That was outstanding.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Jeez. Oh man, that micro though. He's just sitting there. He's like, oh, this.
Oh, it's not even that impressive.
No way, but it's still
just
like
leaving
mind
his
games.
hero. But yeah, those mind games were fantastic, and Shoei got completely faked out there.
That was great.
Oh man,
It's not.
I'm grinning from ear to ear.
It's not the longest cooldown in the world, but it's still impressive to watch anytime you see that. So, well played for Mushi. That's just the stuff that he can do. He's got so many skills in his repertoire. So, I mean, he's actually going to go right back to this tier 2 tower again and just keep working on it. His Manta style back up, off cooldown, ready to go. No more smokes up like you talked about. All of them on cooldown. DK has one, I believe, on MMY. Yeah. But he gets blown up by a Brewmaster ultimate down bottom. So much for the Shadow Shaman getting killed. He actually had 2,000 gold to make as well. Top lane fight happening. Ice 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 jumps in. There's the Chrono Doom. Jumps in a little too close, though. He will pop the BKB. The Basho coming in. The headshot. The time lock coming through. Not enough to grab the kill. The Assassinate flying on the backside looking for someone. Meanwhile, time lock going ahead as well. Here's the ensnare up. Meanwhile, Sancheng will fall. Song of the Siren, Assassinate. He's just gonna die to Viper and the corrosive skin, unfortunately. Oh, well. Brennan grabs yet another kill. 2 dead and Song actually wasted, which is huge. Brewmaster ultimate down as well. That was their key to go. No Brew ultimate. Go on that top lane. Try to find a couple of kills, and they do just that.
Everything's just falling apart for Newbee. Like, wasted Doom, more pickoffs, and now they don't get anything out of the song, nothing out of the Panda ult, and DK, they've sensed their opening. They're just going to keep on charging forward.
Yeah, there's a couple of towers in it for them right now. Tier 2 they might even rotate bottom, but the wave is all the way pushed out. Sitting very far back is Banana. They could go for a tier 3 here. Burning has his Aegis still, and they actually use the Surf Wards on that tier 2 tower, interestingly enough.
For one
that was,
volley of attacks.
That was not necessary.
So this is MMY's gift to Newbee. Look, I give you 200 gold.
Take my Serpent Wards. I will give you this. It's just like, okay, that's fine. They'll be able to farm it. Looks like it's going to be the Brewmaster picking up that extra bit of gold here. His Aghanims is done, and he's also got 3.5k gold, so Moose getting kind of farmed here. How has his Aghanims? His BKB has been completed, which is great, but Chronosphere really doesn't give a crap about that. So, and the right click of Mushi doesn't either. Same with Ice Ice Ice. So, it feels like DK are, again, like you said, they're just controlling the pace of this game a bit better. They're not using their ultimates to get pickoffs on, you know, supports like MMY. They're using them to find big pushes and kills. And in fact, they're going to try to find how, but this might be a bit of a bait. Chronosphere is going to go. The Glimpse might come out. They are just trying to bait how as much as possible. Now the BKB getting popped. Ice 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 is going to try to TP away. The Ensnare was already used. They were waiting for it. So a bit of bait on either side. A BKB for a BKB and a Chronosphere is what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, would have been nice had Ice 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 been able to get level 16 before going in for that, but you know, shave that extra 20 seconds off, but probably not going to be a huge deal. Though it is a bit of a window of opportunity for Newbee. Other things to mention, Aegis is just about to be reclaimed for DK, and Burning does seem to be working in towards a Manta style of his own, so DK just seems to... They love the zero commitment push, just throw out a bunch of summons, throw out some chip damage on the tower, and back off. And Ice 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 fakes out the Chrono, which isn't even up at the moment, so How's going to turn around and finish off this tower.
They think that he's got the level
Dyer's
3 ultimate
top tower
potentially,
has
but that's not the
fallen.
case. Serpent Ward's down
Radiant
bottom, that cooldown
structures
already
are
ready to go.
fortified.
Blink Shiva's guard, not there. The range, not quite enough to catch out the Viper who just jets away. These Serpent Wards not going to be able to take down this tower. They will be able to deny it, and it looks like they will do just that. So,
Radiant's
although they do
bottom
deny the tower, that's their
has
last
been
outer
denied.
tower. And if you're DK here, you probably just wait for the next Roshan, get another Aegis, and maybe trying to finish the game. And you can even farm up a bit more. Ice says maybe get a damage item. Same with Mushi as well. He's got 4.2k, so he's very close to his next item, whatever it may be. And he's actually, Mushi's the most farmed of the game, unsurprisingly, at 34 minutes in.
Yeah, and Newbee just want a fight. They're like, come at us, come on, let us use the Brewmaster ultimate, let us use this Aghanim Scepter. Give us a chance to wipe you out and take your base, but DK are not giving them even the smallest opportunity, and both teams are continuing to grab some pretty good farm. Banana, I think, accepting that this game might start to go a little bit long, has picked up a Sacred Relic on his Naga Siren, so... Oh, no, there's a Doom out on Ice, but,
He should be able to get away. He actually has a TP scroll, but he's getting right
there's
click
more
down.
heroes inbound.
Yeah, Ice maybe in trouble. The TP away immediately coming up from Mushi. Ice should fall from this, and that's actually a nice pickup going up for Doom, so that gives them a bit of an opportunity maybe to look for something else, but what he turned it into, there's no outer towers left to take here for Newbee. You could try to find another pickoff. If you go high ground, you risk a buyback, but at least you force it out. So maybe just get some aggressive wards up here. Try to play aggressively, keep DK pinned back into their base, and maybe try to force out a buyback if you're Newbee, but we'll see if they can get that done. They're walking towards Burning right now. There's no Doom, so they're actually going to glimpse it back, though.
the
He
vision.
has no BKB either, but Viper Strike's going to go through Burning. In some trouble with the Static Link as well. Burning in a lot of trouble. Actually, big Static Storm. Burning still alive, but just barely. He already used his mech. He'll fall. They used the Brewmaster ultimate for it as well. MMY is going to go down. 3 dead. And now, Newbee are bringing the fight to DK. They've lost 3, but Mushi's still picking away at the rest of the squad. He'll try to do his best to push this back, but with all of these cooldowns down now, and Ice back up, there's a Refresh Orb now up for the Brewmaster. So
And they've got the song ready
Dyer's
for the
structures
Chronosphere as
are
well.
fortified.
So,
this could be a huge, huge fight for Newbee, and maybe even a set of racks if they're lucky if they play this right. They'll back away now. They do have the Refresher. It has been used. The Primal Split ready to go. The song, like you mentioned, is online, but they're not getting too aggressive just yet. How's going to push this Plasma Field and try to take down this Creep Wave. They'll play passively, maybe try to bait out somebody coming back here. They'll TP Banana back down to the bottom lane, maybe just try to push this out. Now they're going to retreat altogether, so they don't want to force anything too crazy. There was no buyback that they could force out. At least they could have gotten it done, but just not enough damage on the tier 3 tower or a nice engagement. So that's still pretty good, though, when it's all... I mean, they put some chip damage on the tower, and that's pretty nice.
yeah, and it is a little bit of a wake-up call for DK as well, that if we're getting to the point in the game where a single pickoff is going to be absolutely game-deciding, and they get away from that one a little bit, but I doubt that next time they'll be quite so lucky. And the map control continues to be a huge problem for DK. These Naga Siren illusions just scouting here, there, and everywhere are making it very difficult for them to do what they want to at this point. So in that sense, the Naga Siren pick has really paid off for Newbee here. And we didn't even mention the synergy with the Razor, of course, being able to just static link and sit there and wait until you have max damage stolen off somebody, and then take the fight. So
I'm
DK
still waiting for that, but
yeah.
it might not happen. Lanham is going to get Glimpse back, however, and well, he'll get his Ice Blast off first and foremost. BKB goes out immediately for Razor. Lanham's going to fall again, but not a huge loss. However, he's down for 48 seconds. They actually smoked up, DK did, right before that happened, so they actually used that as well, which is a bit unfortunate. They're not going to counter-engage. The Razor has popped his Eye of the Storm. That's his Aghanim's. He's almost got a Refresher. There's going to be 3 Refreshers if this game goes long enough. One for the Doom, one for the Brewmaster, which already has one, and one for How as well, who's getting very close. So Viper Strike's going to go. The Aghanim Scepter 12-second cooldown. They're going to mech right through it. Now blink forward. The Primal Split as well. The Chronosphere is going to go. Now maybe How in trouble, but on the other side of things, Burning is going to fall first. Meanwhile, the Assassinate There's Hal falling. Ice will grab at least 1 kill, but 2 dead on DK's side. The glimpse going back to BKB. Not available anymore. Ice in some trouble. About to go down. No, he's going to time walk away. Buyback coming up from the Razor as, guess what? In that mid lane, they're pushing it down. They're getting the tier 3, but now the Rack's exposed here. DK about to lose the first set of Racks of the game. Brewmaster, Primal Split. He refreshes it. It's ready to go again. Ice jumping in. There's another Brewmaster ultimate. Ice looking towards Banana, but he's going to get right-clicked down. He does have buyback. He might have to use it here. The Racks haven't been taken yet. Meanwhile, Brewmaster still going on Mushi. He can't blink away, but the force stab coming out. Nicely done coming out. I believe that was Lonham getting it done. Getting Mushi back up to the high ground, but they still want these Racks. They sense that there is blood here. They're still ready to go. Now Moo jumping forward, the clap on Mushi, but there's the Ice Vortex and the Hex coming through. MMY blink the shackles. Now Moo is left to his own devices, in trouble, about to fall, and it looks like he will. He's going to get forced and mech'd just in time. The Song of the Siren. Moo will survive here. Hal gets back into the engagement. The buyback from burning, but now they've got to leave. There's the Viper Strike. TP coming through. How? He just bought back. He's done. He's down for 90 seconds, and Viper gets the kill. Oh, a lot of carnage down in this bottom lane. No set of Racks taken. So low, but not enough. DK, they repel the engagement. Aghanim Scepter now done for the Rasta, and now they'll head towards the Roche Pit as well and just try to take another Roshan, and this time Cheese with it.
No song, no split, so this should be a freebie for DK. The Radiant Illusions are being really annoying for Mushi for his mobility around in these fights, but he's still finding the openings with the Blink Dagger. And they only sort of realized that Mushi was sitting away at the side, plinking away at them, I think way too late in that fight. I mean, Mu took a little bit of a run at him with the second ultimate, but we saw what happened. DK with some really nice team play were able to bail him out, and now DK, I think they know that this is a pretty big window for them. Song's still down. There isn't going to be a second primal split for 50 seconds, and I think they're going to see how far they can push this. And like you said, they know that the Razor just fought back, so this is 20 seconds of relative safety to go and do that non-committal push that we were talking about.
Yeah, they could just put some chip damage on the towers. They might not be able to do as much as what Newbee did down in the bottom lane on that set of Racks, but they'll see if they can find the engagement here. The buybacks are the most important thing. Brewmaster's the only one that has one. Again, he will have his refresher open. He's actually going to go right in on MMY. Maybe in trouble, and actually he's going to get mech'd to Shiva's guard. He gets forced away, but up in the air. Oh my god, that level death just blows him up. That poor Shadow Shaman the Rasta is dead. Burning now. He has the Aegis. He's got a Viper Strike, but he's going to get Static Stormed as well. He is dead as well. The Static Link, well, that's the Aegis. There is another Brewmaster ultimate coming through. Ice. Chronosphere, how? About to fall yet again, but Mushi gets doomed up. The right click might be enough to grab this kill on how, and it will be, but Mushi will fall on top of that. He could not cheese. Now Ice trying to do what he can. Burning getting right click down as well. This is their fight. DK getting so low. Burning's dead. The second Brewmaster ultimate doing such work. Ice. He will TP away. Lana will not be as lucky. Looks like he's going to fall to a level death, right click and ensnare. 4 dead. Such aggressive play coming up from Moo. The double Brewmaster ultimate paying off. Fantastic. And yes, they lose Hal, but certainly worth it.
Yeah, and I think DK underestimate Newbee a little bit there. They're kind of telling themselves, oh, hey, look, the Razor is still dead. Surely we have just enough time to get up onto the high ground, throw down those wards, and back off. But the instant that MMY pokes his head forward, gets blown up, and they got 0 value out of the Shadow Shaman there, which is, and he's been a huge factor in all of these fights up until this point. I mean, the Chronosphere and the Viper are obviously both big in terms of keeping people away from the sniper, but the Shadow Shaman is equally important with his own disables and throwing his body on the line just to make sure that Mushi can get some damage done. So MMY is going to be kicking himself a little bit there, I think, for being kind of greedy, looking for those Serpent Wards and not waiting for somebody else to go in first.
He was so far forward, but I just feel like they maybe realizing that Burning's getting picked off a bit too much. He's died a lot of the time first in these past couple of engagements. I mean, he's getting picked off through Static Link, Static Storm. They're locking him down, and there's not much that Burning can do right now. They actually give him the cheese as well. They just want him alive in these engagements, but that's easier said than done, especially when you're getting doomed, which, by the way, he's got a refresher now, so double Doom's up, double Panda Ultimate's up, and Double Eye of the Storm potentially. He doesn't. Again, Hao's been getting killed a lot. He's had to buy back a couple of times, so well, just once actually, but he's getting closer to that refresher. So the third refresher is going to be done here shortly. And with that, Newbee probably have the edge if they get all their ultimates off the way they want them to be in team fights. Again, though, Mushi's kind of the X factor here. They did a nice job doing him in that last fight, so he couldn't cheese up and just kind of keep the right click away. But he's still an issue. He does have his dataless. He will blink away. Again, it comes down to position now. It always does with Dota, but we'll see who gets the better engagement. And maybe if Newbee tries to push in first, or if we just wait for another Roshan potentially.
Yeah, I feel like DK are probably not going to be looking for very many fights. I think, Newbee are going to force them to take 5-on-5s, but if DK had the choice, they would definitely be continuing to split push and continuing to keep the lanes out. But that you always come back to that problem of map control, and with no vision, DK poking their head out of the base could be a disaster as Newbee come around the corner with a smoke.
This could be awful. Mushi's going to get caught out. He blinks away immediately. Very nicely done. The Shiva's Guard coming through. Ice with the Chronosphere onto 2. But the Ice Blast, the Song of the Siren coming in as well. Mushi is doomed. They grab the Courier as well. The BKBs are up. The Refresher going through. Hao is still alive. The BKB on the backside. They bring Mushi down. Ice is working on Hao, but the Static Link is going through. He'll jump away and try to TP. Burning is going to fall next. Double kill for Mu. They're turning it around. They're forcing out the buybacks, but they only have one left. That's Burning. He's forced to pop it as well. But these sets of racks, they're going to have to glyph them right now. And with no Chronosphere, what are they going to do here? They force the BKB at the very least. Mushi now doing work. There's the Refresher. Brewmaster's second ultimate. It's going to get thrown up. Now MMY forced to pop the Serpent Wards. He is going to fall in just a moment here. They're doing a lot of damage to these Brewlings, but is it enough? Burning's up in the air. Mushi, he's not going to get doomed again, at least not yet. They will push them back, and the Earth Panda will, actually, the Air Panda rather, will escape, and they actually get the set of racks, which is mission accomplished, and a lot of buybacks forced as well. Now DK, it seems like they're a couple of mistakes or just a couple of deaths away from losing this one, and Newbee being up 1-0.
Yeah, MMY actually ended up surviving after that fight. The Serpent Wards managed to kill the Fire Panda, so Brewmaster wasn't able to actually finish him off, so nicely done by him. But yeah, Newbee not overextending. They committed pretty much everything that they had to getting that lane of racks, and back they go to just continue waiting for those cooldowns, and they'll have another run at DK in a bit. And we're at that stage of the game where the long cooldowns just can't really be punished at all. DK are spending as much time dead as it's taking Newbee to get their refreshers and ultimates back. So I don't know what options they have to break out of this situation that they've been put into. They might need to, look to try and be aggressive, but we always have to come back to that problem of they don't know where Newbee are on the map. So any hill could be running up into 5 heroes, getting 2 heroes doomed, and just losing the game right there. So I'm not even sure what outs they have to play to anymore.
It's essentially, I feel like it comes down to Mushi just getting away scot-free in these fights, like you would with the pub sniper, but that just doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, yeah, this is Newbee we're talking about, and even though Mushi is a fantastic player, we've seen it this game, there's no way you're going to outrun 2 Dooms, 2 Primal Splits, and well, even a Double Eye of the Storm. And like you said, the cooldowns are just so huge. DK, the effectiveness for the Viper, it's come and gone. Burning he did a great job in the early game, but now he's just not really pumping up the damage, nor is he doing much. Ice's damage is lacking severely. He's got a Maelstrom and a Mask of Madness and a BKB. He's not really providing much of these fights. You saw it. He can't even bring down Hao, even with the help of an Ice Blast and maybe even an Assassinate. It's just not enough, so they have no buybacks right now. They have lost map control. They have maybe still a slight chance to get to Roshan when and if it respawns by the time this game's done. They lose their Courier in that engagement as well, so everything pretty much going the way of Newbee. And even the Naga Siren getting farmed has a Heart of Trask on the way. So they have buyback on their essentially 3 core heroes. Their 4th core that they've got now, no buyback, but not sure if they need it. Newbee just need to make the right play here. Play smart, like you said, don't overextend and go from there.
Yeah, we always talk about heroes like Naga Siren and Mirana and whatnot transitioning out of a support role, but it gets talked about a lot. It very rarely happens, but Banana has well and truly done it this game with now that he has a Radiance and a Heart of Taras on his Naga Siren. That's guaranteed Radiance damage on all of DK for for pretty much every single fight, so long as he micros things well. So
And you like see those 2 items, and you're so used to like core Naga Sirens having like 6 items. You're
Yeah.
like, that's not that much. But like you have to understand like in what capacity this is being played. Plus, there's Pack Leader Aura as well, which is like your illusions just do that much more, and you just do that much more. So this is like I don't know what DK can really do here. They have at least the cheese, but they've got to find a favorable engagement somehow, and it just doesn't seem likely.
it's 5-man chrono time.
Yeah.
5-man chrono with
For Ice
Ag,
Ice Ice,
Serpent Ward, Splash.
even for Ice Ice
and
Ice, that's asking a lot. Like even for him, man,
That's their out, Mott. That's
it
the
is.
that's what they
5-man
got.
Chronosphere would be good here. Hashtag
Yeah.
notes. Jeez, but I mean, you're just gonna see them sit inside their base for the next couple of minutes. They probably won't even contest Roshan when it's up, which they don't know at this point. It's up in 1:30. It could be up now for all they know. They're not going after it. In fact, Ice 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 is. He just knows that he's got the game sense to know that they're up here and they're ready to go on. He'll back away, but he actually goes to the jungle, and he's still not in a safe place. He will jump away now, realizing that, yes, the Disruptor is chasing after him. He does have a BKB charge in case he gets glimpsed, but... Roshan. They still want this. The Aegis and the Cheese, that's going to be what Newbee look to finish off this game with. Just like those 2 items and essentially all their refreshers, and everything combined should be enough. So now for your DK, you've got to wonder potentially about the next game. The game's not over yet, but you've got to think about where to go from here in terms of your draft. We've seen it before. But they will smoke up. They're going to try to find a favorable engagement on their terms. It looks like maybe Newbie know about this.
Dire's courier
Nope,
has
that's
been
another
killed.
Oh, it's a bait!
Ice 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 jumping in. There's the Serpent Wars. They will grab the Disruptor right now. Meanwhile, Moo getting blown up. Can he get his ult off? No. But the Song of the Tower doesn't matter. He's dead. Immediate buyback from the Brewmaster. Ice 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 going on how he gets shackled up. Now Newbie in a lot of trouble. BKB, however, the Eye of the Storm doing work. 2 dead. Ice 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 getting zapped. And just when it looked like it was going well, 3 are dead. The buyback coming through from the Brewmaster. He's about to jump back in the engagement. Lana will juke nicely. Well, at least he thought he was juked nicely, but he still gets caught out.
By the wards.
The right click, but he's actually jumping around the wards, trying to kill Hao, baiting it out. He's actually still alive barely, but there's the Brewmaster to secure the kill with the Doom, and now 4 are dead, and yet another exposed set of racks might be coming up here.
I feel like that was an intentional bait with the courier, but it still didn't win them the game, unfortunately.
No.
Dire's middle
It was
tower
nice.
is under attack.
It actually looked really good for a bit there for DK, but oh, nice ultimate coming out just to make sure he dodges the assassinate, but just a nice little styling play from Moo.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
X up in the Storm Panda. Doesn't matter, they're still working on these racks. They want to push back. Mush is going to get hit up with the stone, but they will back away. Scorched Earth being popped as well. So they get a 2-3 tower. Roshan is now available for them. They did buy back on Moo, but they should be okay still. Unless they get another Chronosphere like that. And yeah, I didn't actually see the courier running, so I can't really comment on the bait.
Yeah, well. The other thing to mention is that MMY dropped his wards inside the chrono, opting to try and get a multi-hero trap instead of just getting, damage out for the duration. So that could have maybe changed things around, because that Serpent Ward with the splash damage actually almost wiped out all 3 heroes pretty much immediately. But maybe if they had that extra couple of seconds, would have been able to do it. Ice Ice jumps in.
Wow, they really want this. They pick up the cheese as well. Now, looks like Xiaowei maybe in trouble. The Song of the Tower is going to go. Ice 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 is doomed. There's the BKB done. And now they're going to go to town on Ice 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 potentially. The Viper Strike is going to fly through. Ice 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 dead. Eye of the Storm is up the refresh your Brewmaster ultimate. Mushi in trouble. The Stone Throw again. The Eye of the Storm and the right click from the low ground. The Static Storm burning, getting chased around and kited. Now Doom is here as well, looking to jump in with his Blink Dagger in just a second. Burning's going to pop the cheese, but here comes Xiaowei, the director, doing work. Mushi is forced to buy back. The Urn will bring back the Disruptor. Sansheng to almost full. The Hex is up. Roly-poly. Moo in trouble here. He's got to pop the BKB, but he might be in trouble. He can't blink out right now. The Serpent Ward's doing work, but he does have the Aegis, so not the worst thing. Meanwhile, Mushi, he has no buyback. So they have a glimpse. It's available. Kinetic Field's going to come out the ensnare as well. They will not glimpse, but they will Mantis out for Mushi. The right click, but Hao says, listen, I'm tanky enough. I don't really care. Mushi's going to fall. He is dead for a whopping 2 minutes. And now they will be able to take this set of racks to potentially the game here after long last Newbee breaking the backs of DK.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
DK with some cute plays here and there this game, but it's not going to be enough to beat just absolutely rock solid execution from Newbee. And well, that wraps up game 1. I'm already super pumped for game 2. I want to see what we get out of the draft.
If it is anything like game 1, I'm pretty excited as well. No one was expecting the sniper pick, I'm sure, but it came out and almost worked nonetheless for DK. They had this timing window about, it seemed like 30 to 40 minutes into the game that they just couldn't hit. They were very close. They got caught out of position. They overextended one too many times, and unfortunately that was the end of their aggression, and all of a sudden they get pushed back, and Newbee, they did all of their refresher orbs, and they start going to town. They had 3 to finish off the game. That'll be the end of game number 1, guys. Remember, we've got a best of 3 here, so potentially 3 games coming up. 2 more left. So, thanks for joining us, guys, here on Beyond the Summit. Once again, my name is Mont. With me is Basecamp. We're going to take a quick break, jump into game number 2 in just a second. Stick around, guys. We'll be right back.